So I decided to make a book channel. It's taken me a while to get this up and just done, but I'm here now, it's done. I have a book channel, it's official, Little Birdie Books. So today I thought to start off this new channel, I would like to talk about some of my favourite books with you guys. These are series and single novels that I've really enjoyed. I highly recommend all of these books, and let's get started. So my first couple of books I actually do not have a physical copy of, for one reason or another. So I actually have them all on my iPad. I have an iPad mini. A lot of people don't like ebooks, and I totally understand that. I like them because it means I can bring it on the train with me and read. I don't have to have a big, more bulky books with me to carry around everywhere, and it means that I can, if I finish a book, I can just like carry on quickly, or I can get the midnight book straight away, like by buying it and pre-ordering it online, because I don't have many bookstores around me, and all of them aren't really like great that I do have, so yeah. Okay, so the first book here I read when I was in a really bad place in my life. I was having a lot of anxiety and issues, and this book really helped me get through it. So the book's called Fangirl by Rowell. This is the cover. I don't know if that's focusing, it's probably not. Okay, that's the cover. Oh, it's lower now. Okay. So that's the cover. So this book is about a girl named Kath and her twin sister Ren. They're going off to college. Ren is very social and Kath isn't. She has a lot of anxiety issues, etc, etc. I really enjoyed this book. It's YA. Yeah, it's a little bit chick lit, I guess. It has a really cute romance in it, which isn't a typical romance, but I really enjoyed it. Anyway, yes. So that's that one. So the next book I have here is Of Poseidon by Anna Banks from the Syrena Legacy series. This is the first book in the series. I do have all of, I think there's 2 so far. I have them both on my iPad. These are really interesting books. I read them when I was going through like a mermaid stage, where I read a lot of books like Wake and Madly, this and whatever mermaid books I could really get my hands on. I think this was my favourite out of all of those. It's a very different culture to the normal mermaid books, and I found it really interesting. I really liked the main love story, and I really liked Roth. I thought he was a really cool, funny character, and yes. By the way, I'm going to put all these books and their series underneath in like the information box, so you guys can check them out if you want to. So this next book isn't what I thought it was going to be when I originally started reading it. I did read it off a recommendation by Pollen Bananas Books. Not that I know her, I just really enjoy her YouTube videos. She's half the reason that I made this video, like this channel. So it's called The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. Keeps doing this thing. Yeah, so it's called The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and it is by Michelle Hodkin. I think that's how you say it. Michelle Hodkin. Anyway, these books are really interesting. Starting them off, I actually thought they were more of a psychological novel. I didn't pick them for a power novel, but they were. It is fantasy. It's fantasy YA, and it's very dark and interesting, and I really enjoyed her writing style. It was very flowing, and it was really, really funny, and I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of dark humour, and I thought it was hilarious. The bit with the arse crying, if you've read it, that was like my ultimate. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. I really enjoyed that book series. I believe the last one's coming out this year, and that should be really good. So my next book here is Divergent. I'm not going to go too much on about Divergent because pretty much everyone's read it. The movie's coming out next month. It's a really good book. I was disappointed with the third one, I'm not going to lie. Triss annoyed me at the beginning of the series, but I'm starting to like her more now. Or like I started to like her more in like the second, third book. Yes, Divergent. So the second last book I have on my iPad here to show you guys is Legend by Mary Lou. I know a lot of people would have read this series. This series is amazing. So it's Legend, Prodigy and Champion. This series is over now. It finished the last book, Champion. And I believe there's a sub-series, The Life Before Legend or something like that. I actually haven't read that yet. I have downloaded it, but I haven't gotten around to reading it. I really, really, really like this series. It was really interesting. It's not what I would call fantasy, but you could say it's fantasy. It's a dystopian YA novel, and yes, I really liked Day. I thought he was he was such a good character. He didn't frustrate me. I thought he was really interesting and he did everything for the right reasons, which was really good. And my last novel here I have is a single novel. It's not a series. It's called Anna and... Oh, it is a series. There is a series. But I haven't read the rest of the series and I don't really plan on it because I know they can't be connected to the novel. So, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I actually read this really recently and I fell in love with it. It was such a fluffy, nice novel and it was really cute and romantic, and it was a really nice novel to read when I was upset, or like I'm finding it good if you're like in a bit of a reading slump, just to go and read a couple chapters of this because it's just really fluffy and nice and it just flows really nicely. Yes. YA, not fantasy or dystopian or anything like that, just YA. It's about a girl named Anna and her parents send her away to France for her last year of high school and she doesn't really want to go, and she meets friends while she's there, and yes, it's very nice. So the next two novels I have here are both single books. They're not in a series. They're very popular books, as most of these books are, because I do read a lot of popular novels. So the first one is Percy being Wallflower by Chbosky. I do have the movie cover of this book because I needed to buy it for high school because I used it for my related text for my Year 12 English studies. That's what has like notes and it's got like post-it notes and stuff in it. Yeah, this book is a coming of age novel, YA. It's very interesting. I really liked Chbosky's writing style. It's very dark, and when I first read this book I was going through a lot of the same things that Charlie went through, and so it really related to me when I was reading it. It's a really small book, like it's tiny, it's nothing, but it's really interesting. You can get through this in like a day, and I really enjoyed it. Next book here, my sister. So the next book I have here, pretty much everyone on earth has read, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I'm not going to talk about it too much because everyone has read this book ever. Like, let's be honest here guys, everyone has read this book. If you haven't, you should read this book. It's really sad, it's really happy, it's beautiful, it's wonderfully written. John Green is an amazing author. It's like one of his books that I didn't completely enjoy, and that was Looking for Alaska. I know a lot of people loved that more than they liked this. I just wasn't really into it. I didn't enjoy it much. It was frustrating me, to be honest, and I didn't like the character of Alaska, so I just didn't enjoy it. This is my favourite of his books, followed very, very, very closely by Abundance of Catherines. Next book here I also have the movie of, so it's The City of Bones from the Mortal Instruments series. First book, obviously I love the whole series, I just thought I'd have the first book to show everyone. If you haven't read this, everyone's read these books pretty much, like high fantasy YA, Cassandra Clare is genius, God Among Humans. I also have the movie here, which I know a lot of people didn't enjoy the movie, but I actually really did enjoy the movie. More as a standalone, and I know they didn't do a good job with the music, which really annoyed me, but yes. I really recommend these books. The characters are really interesting. Even the second series, especially the second series, the Infernal Devices was amazing. The characters stayed perfect and I loved them all. So next I have Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, first book in the Percy Jackson series. I believe there's 5 or 6 in the first series and 4 or 5 in the second. So I really enjoyed these books. They are classified as children's books, but don't fall for that because they are amazing. If you enjoyed the movie, definitely read the books because the movies are pitiful compared to these books. I actually have the movie cover, I believe. They don't sell them anywhere. I couldn't find any other cover. But yes, I do. I have all of these books in physical copy, including the second series and the first in the Kane series, which I bought not realising it wasn't Percy Jackson. But yes, I really enjoyed this series. It's really interesting. I loved learning about all the Greek culture and ancient Greek society and things like that. It actually helped me in high school, which was a bit weird. Like with even English and poetry and things like that, because stuff about the Minotaur and the Labyrinth and everything. I don't know. It just happened to help me in high school, which is fun. But yes, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. Or this whole series even. Like, you can't not read the first book and just not read the rest of the series. They're so good and addictive. I was actually really late on the Percy Jackson bandwagon. And then I got my sister obsessed and my 36-year-old cousin obsessed. So, trust me. These books. So this next book, I always explain it badly. It makes it sound really bad and cheesy when I explain this book, but I swear to God, these books are spectacular. This is the only book that I have here that has characters that really annoy me and that I can't stand hearing about in general. Like, I understand why the characters have to be there and why they're who they are, but it doesn't make me stop hating people in this book. So it's called The Selection by Kiera. There's 3 books in the series. The first 2 are out and the third one's coming out this year. So the first book is The Selection, and then the second's The Elite, and the new one coming out is called The One. I believe it's coming out in June or July. I'm not sure. I live in Australia, so I know a lot of the release dates and things like that are different for me. But yeah, I always explain it as, I guess, The Bachelor mixed with princesses and kind of mixed with The Hunger Games, I guess, because it's a dystopian future. Most people do relate these kind of books to Hunger Games just because it is a dystopian future. It is nothing like The Hunger Games. I guess it kind of is, but I wouldn't explain it like that. I really enjoy these books. I finished them in a day. Like, it's a tiny book, it's nothing, but they're so interesting, and I don't like America, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna like America until she picks up Maxon. I hate Aspen. Aspen makes me really angry. Go away, Aspen. Nobody likes you. If you've read these books, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Yes, so it's really interesting. I really like the storyline, I really like the plot, and I think the fantasy world, it's not really fantasy, but the world's really interesting to me, the world that she's created with the whole, like, the selection process and, like, the, 1 to 6. Everyone gets a number in society, and that determines what you do in life, and I find that really interesting. And yeah, I guess that's kind of like the Hunger Games, isn't it? Anyway, speaking of, next book I have here is The Hunger Games. I'm not going to even say anything about The Hunger Games because Hunger Games. I also have the movie here. I have they're like the same cover. I actually have 2 copies of all these books. I have these pretty ones which I bought because I liked them better than the ugly old covers I have, and then that's like the special edition to this DVD. 3 discs, cool, fancier. But yeah, so obviously Hunger Games. Okay, last but definitely not least, Vampire Academy. Do I need to say more? If you know me, this is my favourite series of like all time. Probably second after Harry Potter, but I can't even say anything, like, they're perfect. I also have here the graphic novel and my VIP pass from the movie premiere. Yeah, I even put a little, you probably can't see and I'm not going to try and focus it, but it's like I put a little rose ring on it because I wore a rose ring to the premiere and I took it off because it was uncomfortable because it's like one of the little doubly rings. But yes, I went to the movie premiere, I really enjoyed the movie. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. I actually thought it was really well done. Don't know whether that's just because I was at the premiere and beside or biased by... I know what that word is. Yes. Richelle Mead is a god among humans, once again. These authors are beautiful, and I love them. Graphic novel is upside down. But yes, tell me some of your favourite books down below. I might do a least favourite books haul, or a least favourite books tag video, I guess. Or I did say Padfoot and Prongs just did a series I'll never finish, and I would love to do that as well because there is a lot of series I'm never going to finish. Yeah, let me know.